Okay, we've got a no heat call here today, and this is a second opinion. We get a few of those now and then, so it seems like that's the popular thing these days, 2 or 3 in a row. And whenever it's a package unit, I always go ahead and carry a drill instead of just my 3 usual toys. I believe we're at the right house here. She described it to me. There's nobody home. She's at work right now. It's supposed to be a carrier or ICP type gas pack. She sent me a picture of it. There it is. Yep. And the first company that came and looked at it told her it wasn't worth fixing and gave her some outrageous prices, or at least in her opinion. Looks like it's from 2011. Okay. So supposedly there was some burnt wiring going to the blower motor and something else. So let's take a look at it. One thing I see is they've been in there digging at something, because that's out of the inside of the unit. And I wonder, I see the teeth on the blades there. These units here are real bad. These are real bad about the induced draft motor being eaten alive. So the other things that the company told her was the blower wheel was really dirty. Looks like they dropped that out of their tool collection. All right. Well, compressor starts, and the outdoor fan did. And yeah, it's a little rusty around the induced draft assembly. I'll go along with that. But it always is. What in the world's holding that from coming out any? There we go. Okay, we're going to eventually jump red and white. Now let's look and see. I see some really dirty wires going to the blower. I don't see any of them burned. Okay. So I don't know what they're talking about. Well, let's just see what happens if we jump it out and try to fire it up. All right, there's the flame. right, I'm gonna let that off before it gets real hot. And I'm gonna see if this blower motor will start, because those ECM motors are bad to fail. And if I was gonna replace that one, yeah, I'd say it's pretty dirty. I just don't know why the burner hadn't stopped yet. There's the click. Thought I heard one of these relays click. Okay, a little more prepared now. Got my reflectix, so I can sit down and not be sitting in the wet grass. Got me a wipe, clean up these wires a little bit and these plugs, just so I can see what I'm doing here. We're gonna see if this thing is getting voltage and signal to run, and if it is, we're gonna replace that ECM motor right there. I bet you anything that's a half horse motor. We keep half horse and 3/4 motors in there, those evergreens. So let's clean these up a little bit. Okay, so the first thing we're going to check is this high voltage one. And we should have a constant 240 here from this yellow to this black, and we do. Okay, and now you got to read two separate plugs on this, because as much as you would think, good Lord, there's a piece of junk. As much as you would think that blue wire is common, it is not. This brown wire over here with your high voltage wires, that's your common for low voltage. So I'm gonna stick that in there. And we're gonna make sure that there's no low voltage on it now, because there shouldn't be. Okay. And then I'm gonna jump this. I'm gonna jump this red and green out. Over here, which should give us full-time circulation fan. And when I hooked those two together, I did hear a little click on the board. So we've got one lead on the common there, and one of these, I'm gonna guess it's that red, it's a lower speed. One of these should have, yep, There's our 29 volts, 28 something, 29. Okay. That's probably the only one, I would guess. And the red is a low speed for circulation for that green. Okay. There's our 28.9 to 29 volts. All right. So that confirms that we are getting high and low voltage to this ECM motor. And we are getting no go. So what I'm going to do now, pull that motor out and look at it. I'm guessing it's a half horse. And I'm going to make a phone call for an approval. And see if she approves of our price. One thing I've said many times about the newer Carrier and ICP units, they are very easy to work on. So just that right there, and this blower motor is ready to come out, I do believe. Nope, there's one up there. Sometimes I forget about that and sometimes I don't. They've got one screw up there on the top, and unless you got one of them funky bendable extensions or whatever, doesn't always come out, so I use a nut driver. But that's about as easy as you could ask to pull a blower housing right there. We do have to kill the high voltage because the capacitor is in the way. Comes right out. Half horse all day long. Definitely doesn't want to turn easy. Let's get it out right quick. All right, I went back and got a couple of more toys. hell? Big boats in this one. And I grabbed this thing because it's junk. It is no good anymore. But it's good for that. Laying in my little magnetic tray there. Apparently not. That's the stiffest, most jerkingest one I've ever seen. Let's go get a new one. Right there. Keep a half and a 3/4. And that's the good one. See what we can do. Okay, so when I was on my way in here, I noticed a little car wash. And I hope it's actually functional, because that wheel is so bad. I just don't think I can get it clean without taking it back to the shop. I don't have my little coil jet with me. And I know a lot of you have seen that little mini pressure washer thing I have. And it looks like that car wash right there is functional. Right over there. I'll take this thing in there and take that little pressure washer to it. See if I can get it clean and run back and put it in. Dadgummit. Every one of these says that. Rats. Okay, back to the drawing board here. She just came home and she does not have a water hose either. But she has a working spigot. Looks like I'm gonna have a little bit of fun here and try to get this thing clean. Let's see what we can do without a hose. Okay, we got her in there.
Most times she ride the bus. Later on in the year,
There's one way. There's the other way. There she goes.